I'm the director of evangelization, and so I oversee all of the catechesis and evangelization of the parish. So sacramental formation, adult faith formation, actually formation for all ages. And then I also help out with digital evangelization and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm responsible for RCIA, coordinating adult formation, young adult formation, and then also baptism prep and marriage prep. And then I have a children's ministries coordinator who oversees sacramental prep for kids. So, yeah.
So you're the pastor.
Yeah, well. Yeah, right now I'm reading a great book. It's called The Incredible Catholic Mass. And so actually I have a copy of it right here.
Wow, that looks like a thick book.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Are there pictures?
No, not many pictures. It's a beautiful book about the Mass, and it just kind of breaks open sort of how we relate to Mass and how we can better participate in the Mass, understanding Christ as the true high priest, and then the priest's involvement, and then the people's involvement. So
wow.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a really, really incredible book. What charity would I start? I would start something that would financially assist parishes. Something to be able to allow pastors to develop their parishes the way they should be. I'm talking like infrastructure, technology, and things like that, not just staff.
Yeah.
But something that would help parishes be able to serve the people that come to them a bit better, whether that's, every parish is different, but most of the time it's having to do with the architecture, having to do with a redesign or something, or building parish halls, or redoing the schools or the school gym or something, just to make our facilities a little bit more accessible and attractive to people. But I've always thought, it's like, okay, what would I do if I win the lottery? It's like, that's what I would do. Is I would just start some sort of fund or program that parishes could use just to help, because there's so many parishes that ministry is completely secondary just to keeping the doors open.
Yeah. So,
yeah. That's a good question. I would say I connect with God probably more so at home. But specifically, we have a home chapel here that my wife and I have put together.
Oh, wow.
And so I like just in the mornings before sunrise when I can be a little bit more focused. But through that time, the reason it's kind of a struggle is because I feel that God's calling me, trying to encounter him more through work, as opposed to work just being a source of anxiety.
Yeah.
And so relational ministry and everything tends to be, I'm an introvert by heart, so it's very, very anxiety ridden for me. But I feel that God is calling me to recognize his presence in daily interactions like that. But I say for now, it really is at my home chapel, just with a good spiritual read and then a few minutes of meditation and everything. So
yeah, nice. So the chapel at home, it's a room in the house that you just converted into a...
Well, we only have a condo right now. Eventually it will be a whole room, but right now it's half a room. It's a corner. But yeah, it's a corner because my wife's working at home. My wife's working at home right now. So her desk is on this side of the room, and now the chapel's on that side of the room. Yeah. And so we have a nice crucifix, Divine Mercy image, Immaculate Conception, and then Sacred Immaculate Hearts, and just a little wall shelf, a floating shelf with a candle on it. And we both just kind of, in the morning, we just light the candle and let it just be dark in there. And so yeah, it's a nice meditative spot. It is supposed to go under, I believe, because if you have a cat, I think it's one of those, I can't remember exactly. There's one, because my parents have a cat and they're like, okay, you have to have the toilet paper this way, or because then the cat can't scrape it all off. And I think it's under that. Maybe it's over. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a little boring. My favorite saint is my patron saint, Saint Anthony of Padua. I think he's my favorite because I think he's kind of underappreciated in the church. I think he's become so pigeonholed by, well, he's the saint that finds things. It's like, no, he's a doctor of the church. And I think just his boldness and his meekness, especially in his life, he's just kind of the source of quiet wisdom. We tend to not read him a lot. And I think he has a lot of wisdom. I think he teaches very brilliantly about truth, goodness, beauty, virtue, all of that. So I feel like he's a more unrecognized doctor of the church. I also have a big devotion to Saint Teresa of Avila. Her humility and her zeal for prayer just really, really inspired me. So, but yeah, I guess I'll be boring. I actually have a great story to share about that, about Saint Anthony of Padua. I grew up. I was confirmed at the normal age, and I never really had a devotion to Saint Anthony. I just chose him because it was my name, and he was my dad's patron saint. And I was just like, okay, whatever. I never really prayed to him. And then one day my parents were moving out of our childhood home, and we were down in the crawl space, and I was emptying out some old things, and I found a box with my baptism stuff in it, and my baptismal garment was there. And so I took it out, and okay, that's nice. And then we took it upstairs, and I crawled out of the crawl space, and I looked on the ground. There's a medal that had fallen out, and I look, and it's a Saint Anthony medal. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I only have like 15 of those already. And I look on the back, and it was actually a third-class relic of Saint Anthony of Padua. And so I was like, wow, that's really neat. And so I took it to my parents, and they're like, how come you didn't tell me this was in my baptismal garment this whole time? And neither of them had ever seen it. We asked around to everyone who was at the baptism. Nobody ever knew about it. The deacon who baptized me was my dad's cousin, didn't know anything about it. And so from there, I just was like, okay, well, I need to develop more of a devotion to St. Anthony. So it's just kind of a neat little story. So
St. Anthony helped you find this medal.
That's right. That's right. And that's the proper way that he finds things. It's not always when you lose them, it's when you're lost.
Yeah.
Also say, favorite Psalms. I can't get past Psalm 51. I mean, that's just beautiful in general. And then Psalm 8 is one of my favorite to read, just the essence of human dignity. The true, how much we are loved and how much we are created in the image of God is something that I think a lot of people tend to overlook, right? Not just for each other, but for ourselves as well, recognizing our own human dignity. So yeah, I think Psalm 8 would have to be the one I'd say.
So that's the one you'd put on your tombstone?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. That'd be good. Yeah, or Revelation 21:5. That'd be a good one too.
It's a big tombstone. Okay.
That's right. Yeah. Facebook, for sure. Facebook and Twitter. I would say primarily social media, just because I don't think it serves the purpose that it intends. The amount of misinformation and the group identity, it's not healthy for the individual person. I think, like I said before, I think we've lost our idea of human dignity just because we see each other in groups as opposed to human persons. So
you mean on social media,
I think it contributes to that. Yeah, we tend to, it's always us against them. And so I have 500 friends on Facebook, and they tend to agree with me, or else they're not my friend on Facebook, right? And so then it's me against the world, and you're in this faction and I'm in this faction. And I just think it contributes to that group dynamic, the mob mentality, a little bit too much. So yeah, I would just say that.
But then your mom wouldn't be able to post cute pictures of cats pulling toilet paper.
Yeah, I guess you kind of saw through my reasoning. Oh my gosh, I really don't. I'm not a jokester. What is it? My wife has a favorite joke that she cracks up all the time on, and it's what does a pig who practices karate say? Pork chop. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, so your wife is 4 years old?
That's right.